there real trifling. What's that? It's a new. Allow viewers to do what? Hey, what's up? It's Mike Watson. So we're live on the Freestyle Komics page, but it looks like I'm lagging on this computer. I'm experimenting doing some other things. I'm also live on my page as an alternative, but I don't have this really sweet, awesome banner that I made on there. And then when I tried to do it for my page, today it was just full of technical difficulties. So I'm gonna bear through it, and we're gonna see what we can make happen. I'm gonna see how it look. I'm also trying to record this as I do it, so I can probably post it up later as something else. All right, so hey, what's up though? It's Mike Watson of Freestyle Komics. So if you're just tuning in, I'm trying to do something a little tad bit different. Give me a second to set up here. Start a little bit. I'm supposed to start at 8:45. I'm starting a little bit early. So if you're looking at me from the side, this is my personal page that I'm doing the Facebook Live on. And then I'm also streaming it on the Freestyle Comics page. And the one on the Freestyle Comics page seems to be lagging, but I worked really hard on this banner. So I want it up there. And I'm going to record it from OBX while still doing it on my personal page so we can coincide the message here. Don't know who that is messaging me. So, what is this? Oh, yeah, let's go to Freestyle Comics. So I'm pulling up the one on the Freestyle Comics so I can see if any comments are there. And I have pulled it up on I've pulled it up on my computer as well, so I can check those comments. And I can kind of see how's it going. So we're letting it roll for a little bit, try to get a couple people in here. I know I got a couple topics to talk about. I got some questions from last week that people gave that I will be answering or discussing here. And let's pull that one up. All right. Man, this streaming business is serious business. I will tell you that much. It is pretty damn serious. I'm going to have to, like, really um, work on this tech side. So I appreciate those are bearing with me here. And why? That's not where I'm supposed to be at. I appreciate those of you that are going to bear with me through this. And stick it out with me through the technical difficulties. Again, if you're watching this on the Freestyle Comics page, obviously I have a better stream of it going up on my personal page, which I'm trying to get up right now. I don't know, this might not work tonight. try to improve on your branding and your social media and do a weekly event, and technology does not want to cooperate with you. Like, this really should not be a problem. All right, so wait, think we're good. Oh, okay, I think we're fine. But it won't. All right, so there we go. All right, so I think we're as set up as we are going to be um, for this venture, and I'm just gonna get started, and I'll just look at it once it gets done and post it, and I'll try to work on some solutions to any of the technical difficulties that I'm having and facing right now, which seems to be a ton of them. But I am also recording, so I am hoping to be able to put a fresher, cleaner version of this. So, all right, dear creatives, episode 8. I am Mike Watson of Freestyle Komics, the editor in chief and the lead artist on FSK Things. Currently at FSK, we are FSK for Freestyle Komics. We are publishing 5 titles: Hotshot, our flagship book; Vigilance, Heroes International, Emerald Quest, and The Cipher. Right. Hotshot, Vigilance, Heroes International, Emerald Quest, and yeah, that's 5 books. We'll be releasing a new title this year, miniseries, The Zero Event. Today's episode, I want to talk about passion and being a creative and passionately pitching your ideas. So I was in Baltimore Comic Con, and there was a show that was the show, and the Comic Book Retailer Summit was also there, and I luckily got the chance to be a part of that, and got to see what that's like, and it's like I don't know, it's like a little low budget Hollywood spectacle for comic books. So it was kind of funny. Had some number one, had some really good food, and they gave us these. We found a table. We sat down. There was a bunch. Obviously, there's a ton of comic book retailers from all over that side and area, probably further out and things like that, coming to Baltimore to see what the comic book industry is going to be producing. The whole point of this is to get the shop owners in there and see what's coming out, so they can be excited about it and want to order it and champion their cause. Like, get these books. Like, oh, these books are gonna be awesome. These variant covers are gonna be awesome. These things they're doing is gonna be awesome, right? So, give me a second. So, we get there, and eat like so, and it gets broken down to me. So Diamond, they're the big ones behind this or whatnot, and they want you to, they want all these comic companies. There's tiers in each, for each company. Whoever obviously pays the most in the Diamond. They got the most ad space. They got the most books. There's like an epic gold, platinum tier, gold tier, silver tier, bronze tier, regular tier, and several companies, comic books, spread out over it, whatever. But this also determines how much time they get on stage to talk about their products. And there was a lot of stuff that came up. Oh my goodness! I don't understand why this is. I don't understand why I'm being riddled with technical difficulties. Bear with me, please. I mean, some of you have, some of you just said, "Yeah, not this week, Mike." But that's fine. I'm still gonna push on through it, and the show will grow in tech as we go along. Yeah. So So that dictates how much time they get on the stage. Obviously, Marvel and DC having the most time, followed by Image. And there was a lot of stuff up there from Marvel and DC. I was like, you know. Some stuff I was like, oh yeah, that's cool. I'll be interested in getting that or whatnot. But I'm getting early peaks at like 9 months, 6 to 9 months to a year of when this stuff is dropping, right? So that is pretty exciting. And the food was great. So Image gets up there, and where'd I put it? Do I not have it anymore? Yes, Image gets up there. I still have it up here, and they have a ton of stuff that they have coming out. Image. What up, Mike? Image is doing big things or whatnot. Right. So this one guy gets up here. Let me make sure I have this right. Charles Soleil and Ryan Brown. No, colors by Ryan Brown. Letters, logo, cover art. You ain't gonna tell me who it was created by? Let me see. Letters by logo, cover art by Ryan Brown. Alright, so let's just say the creator of curse words gets up there, right? And this guy he's got a lot of heart. He's got a lot of passion. He doesn't have like this fancy, Photoshop slideshow or with visual effects on it or anything like that, or some great animated voice that's speaking like a movie premiere or anything like that. He just has these pictures, right? He gets up there, and one of the pictures I remember him talking about was this van, and it was painted with the name of the book is Curse Words. All right, right. So it's painted with the character and the title font. It's a really really awesome looking van, and it says Curse Words. And he's like, if you guys buy my book and have it at your shops, then I'll be able to get the money to get this van and go on tour. And he was like, well, I probably won't take it on tour, but I'll definitely get the van and take it a couple places. And like the list just kept getting shrinking of what he was going to do with this van. So he ended up like, well, I'm not going to get the van, but you guys should order the books. He had a really good icebreaker. There was a lot of passion in his voice when he was talking, and he could talk about his book. Like, you think that's like a given? You should be able to talk about your book, but like this dude really could talk about his book, and a lot of people cannot talk about their books and make it fun or make it exciting or make it interesting, and this guy could. So that retailer summit was right around the time when they announced that Invincible from Robert Kirkman and Ryan Otley and Corey Walker was indie, and we were only going to get one more year of it. And I'm thinking, man, I need another book to fill that void because Invincible is my stuff, right? So he gets up there, he shows us images of the book, he's talking passionately about the book, and he's naturally like he's not like a comedian, but he's making jokes, and it's not even that he's making jokes, it's just what he's saying and how he's talking. He's being entertaining, and his love for the book is just coming out. Like the love of the craft, the love of the work is just coming out. He's naturally being funny. And when I saw the images of it, I was like, you know what? That could be the book to fill my void. That could be the book. Oh, no. This was at a con I went to last year, Mike. So I went to Baltimore Comic Con, and then they also had the retailer summit there. So, so I'm like, oh my God, this dude has really got me invigorated to, check out his book. Like, I'm really excited about it. Like, I really want to put my dollars down on it. And I was there with a comic book retailer, and I was like, man, order this book for me, please. Put it on my pool. And I was like, yeah, sure, cool beans. So it must have been like 6 months or whatever. Book finally comes out, but I bought it. And I bring that up to say that because a passionate display of your book, of your character, will get people to buy it. And that's what you got to do. Something that I have, I guess in a way, I've known and not realized it, and it really did not come to a point and really become a focus until I got with Short Fuse, is that people don't know about your books. You may think you have a large circle, right? You may think that you have people that are all about you, and you got a lot of people following you and watching and stuff, but you really don't if you're just starting out. Now, I'm not saying that's the case for every single person, but I had it in my head that our big audience, it's gonna be no problem, and then I got to short fuse and got smacked in the face. Like, no, my audience isn't as big as I thought it was, or near where I want it to be. Um, so people generally are going to buy the book from you before they even realize what it is. Um, because if they like you, if they enjoy you, if they're inspired by you, if they're entertained by you, basically, if you just have a good damn time with them, they'll throw down a dollars like, oh, you know what, F it. Let me get this guy's book. Let me support him. Or this gal's book. Let me throw some money down, help them out. And then the thing is that you got to have a good book to back it up so you get them to come back. Because you're your presence, your atmosphere, your attitude, your personality, that's the gatekeeper. That gets them to the door. That gets them to knock on the door, and then you give them the product. Now, the just rewards is having a good product. Because then we're like, oh, you know what? That Mike Watson kid's really cool. Let's support him. Get a couple of his books. Get home, read the books. These books are actually good. I'm going to want some more of these. That's what you want. Because, yeah, you'll have the person or you'll have the certain group of people that will walk past your table, see the art, be impressed with the art, and want to buy the book because they're just a comic book fan and, it caught their eye. Yeah, you're going to have that. You're not going to have a lot of that, though. And so you're going to have to invoke conversation. You're going to have to get in there, get your hands dirty, and talk to people. I am a huge advocate of if you're going to a comic book convention and you need to be speaking to 80 to 85% of the people that are walking past your table, and not even with the intent to sell. You need to be talking to these people with the intention of just saying, "What's up? How you doing? I'm at the con. I'm at the show. What are you doing? That's a cool ass shirt. Oh, can I see that print? What are you here for? Are you here for The Walking Dead? Are you here for Man of Steel? Whatever. Just start a conversation. Just talk to them. For creators or creatives, my creatives, I feel like when you're at a con and people have paid money to get into that show, they have paid money and they have signed a contract, whether they know it or not, for me to pitch my shit to them. They have. Absolutely they have. Because they know what they're walking into. They're walking into a comic book convention that has celebrities, that has vendors, that has comic books, that has toys, stores, all that stuff. If Safe Auto and T-Mobile can bother you for insurance and a cell phone plan at a comic book convention, I dang sure can talk to you about some comic books. You can't be afraid. You can't be afraid. You can't be bashful. I know maybe some people are introverts and they just really enjoy comic books. They enjoy making them, but they're not very extroverted or outgoing people or whatnot. You're gonna have to get over that shit. All right. For the most part, again, this is based off my experiences and what I've seen. Everybody's story is different, but for the most part, your art alone isn't going to sell the books. If you can't catch people's attention with your art, how can you get them to pick up the book to read the book? So maybe the art's not your strongest point, and you're like, it's the story. The story's amazing. Well, if the art's not good to catch their eye, how can you get them to get to the story? Talking to them. That's how we can do it. We talk to these people. We have conversations with these people. Crack a joke. Be corny. One of the good things I liked about working at Foot Locker and GameStop, or Finish Line. Finish Line and GameStop is that you have to have the ability to kind of size up who you're dealing with in that conversation when you're trying to sell them a shoe or a game. But the easiest way to do it, don't play games. Just ask them, what are they into? What kind of comics do you like? Oh, do you? Well, actually, I have that kind of comic book right here. This is actually curse words because I bought the first issue. So I was inspired by that man, And I was like, man, I'm going to go get his book. I'm going to go support him. Because what he's saying about the book, how he's talking about the book, how he's representing the book is right up my alley. And when I'm looking at the art does not look that bad. Well, sorry, I rephrase it. It's not bad. The art is good. There's better, but it is good. Good enough to satisfy me enough to read the story. And I bought it. Now, after reading the story and, checking out the art stuff, book wasn't for me. But I normally buy the first 3 issues to see how the book goes, and then I make my final decision. But in the end, the title wasn't for me. But it did get me to buy the book. It got me to see the book. Most of the times, what I get, and I enjoy getting it, a lot of times people buy like the first 2 issues of Hot Shot, and then they'll either come back to me on the next day or they'll message me on Facebook and say, "Dude, this is awesome. Where can I get more?" And I love when people come up there and buy it and they get the first 2 issues, and I'm like, hey, I'm not trying to use this as a salesman's tactic, but I'm telling you, you're probably gonna want to at least get the first 4 issues to satisfy where you're at. And they're like, well, I don't know about that. I'll just try them. And then I get that message on Facebook, or they come back the very next day. Oh, let me get the next issue. I'm just saying, being truthful and cavalier and fun with it always helps. So the long and short of it is, be able to conversate, be able to talk. If you can't talk about yourself and talk about your title, how can you expect anyone else to get into it? How can you bring anybody into it? Comic book conventions, the landscape of comic book conventions is changing, and it changes every single year. There's 2 types of fans that go to comic book conventions as of late, and I would like to say that one end of it is mainstream fans. They are there for the movies and the TV shows, and there's nothing wrong with that, but that's what they're there for. And then you have the regular fan, the usual fan that I'm used to and accustomed to are the comic book heads, or the cartoon heads that are there for art, that are there for comic books, that are there to meet creators. So you got about a 60-40 split with that. And comic book conventions are going to tend, most of them, not all of them. And again, it's not a good or bad thing. It's just it's the way business is, and you have to adjust to what business is. Generally, comic book conventions are going to try to tend to get more of the mainstreams in because they want celebrities there. Celebrities bring in more people. And it's kind of like that old expression, crap rolls downhill. Well, fans roll down. So after the celebrities get them there, it's our job to talk to them and snatch them in. So you should never be afraid to talk to anybody. And as I said, there is that written contract. Once you buy your ticket, once you put down your money to go to the show, you have signed a contract. And in my contract, in my eyes, that says Michael Watson of Freestyle Komics gets to pitch his comics to you. You ain't got to buy them. You don't have to walk away with them. You ain't got to buy the whole bundle of them. But I do get to talk to you about them. I do get to speak to you. And if you don't want to talk, that's fine. You don't have to talk. We don't have to speak. But that's not going to stop me from saying hi. That's not going to stop me from being polite. So that's kind of where I am at. Long and short of it, you guys and gals have to talk. You have to conversate. You know about your book. You're working on that book. So be able to talk about that book. You should kind of have levels. You should have levels of conversation for your comic book. And the first level is the elevator pitch. When you're talking about your comic books, you should have the elevator pitch that pulls them in and gets them interested. Then when they're picking up the book and they seem intrigued, you do a level 1, which is give them a little bit more information, which is kind of like the synopsis or summary of said story that they're looking at. But if you get somebody that's really into it and asking questions, that's when you go into level 2 and you break them off some of the overall story arcs and, character types that are in the book, talking about your brand and like what's representative of the comic books and things like that. But that level 2 conversation is dependent on what kind of comic book fan that you have there. And that's something